The results of massive trials on Johnson & Johnson's much-anticipated one-shot vaccine have been revealed, and they are very promising. Gambling on one dose was certainly worthwhile, Dr. Madai Naman, Global Research Chief for J&J's Janssen Pharmaceutical Unit, told the Associated Press. When those who received the vaccine did exhibit symptoms, they proved to be mild. On Friday, the pharmaceutical giant revealed the vaccine has shown to be more effective in the United States, with mutations of the virus in other countries proving to be more resistant to the vaccine. The level of protection against moderate and severe COVID-19 infection was 72% in the US, 66% in Latin America, and 57% in South Africa, 28 days post-vaccination, he said. The study involved 44,000 volunteers, and subjects were tracked for any symptoms 28 days after the vaccine was administered, at the time where if the trial had involved a two-shot vaccine, the volunteers would have required the second dose. It was discovered that after day 28, no volunteers who were vaccinated with the one-shot required hospital care or died, and this was regardless of whether volunteers were exposed to regular COVID-19 or these particularly nasty variants, Dr. Naman said. If it's a single-dose vaccine, then 1 billion vaccine doses would translate into 1 billion people vaccinated, said Dr. Dan Baruch of Harvard Medical School, who was involved in the development of the vaccine. Another advantage to the one-shot vaccine is it is less problematic to store, as it doesn't require cold storage as some rival vaccines do. Also, it is cost-effective at US $10 per shot. J&J will apply to the FDA for emergency use authorization next week, and expect to have the vaccine available to the public by March. J&J said the one-shot vaccine had proven to be 66% effective overall in the US and 7 other countries at guarding against moderate to severe illness, and protection against the most serious symptoms was at a high 85%. The one-shot vaccine had proven to be 100% effective in preventing deaths in the US, as there were no cases of hospitalization resulting in death in any volunteers. There were 5 COVID-19 related deaths in the trial, however all had been given the placebo, not the vaccine. J&J has a $1.5 billion agreement with the U.S. to support the development of the vaccine, and deliver 100 million doses by the end of June. In addition, Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech both have additional two-shot vaccines available in the U.S., and with the number of doses from both companies approaching 200 million doses, making the total of 600 million doses from both, to be delivered by summer, which is sufficient to cover the whole population, including the J&J one-shot vaccine will add to the arsenal in a bid to defeat the pandemic that has affected so many families. Frankly, simple is beautiful, said Matt Hepburn, the government's COVID-19 response vaccine lead. Now it's going to be incumbent on us to figure out how this great tool in the toolbox can be used, so that we ultimately cover the American population and ultimately stop this pandemic. Last week, the video game retailer GameStop share prices rocketed by 1,755%, as it became the latest pawn in the battle between small investors and Wall Street giants. Forums such as Reddit's Wall Street Bets, which has almost 6 million members. As of 10 a.m. Thursday, GameStop's value was $468 per share, and compared against the $4 a share price only 6 months ago, the surge is astronomical. And not only GameStop has been a target of small investors, but also AMC and BlackBerry. Then later on Thursday, GameStop shares fell by 64% as online brokers such as Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, and Webull restricted trading. Politicians from both the left and right were angered by the move and complained Wall Street was rigging the system against small individual traders. In an interview with Yahoo Finance, Webull CEO Anthony Denier explained there was no conspiracy against traders who had made money from the so-called short squeeze on GameStop. There is an outcry because a lot of the retail, they don't actually understand the dynamics that happen after a trade, Denier said. It has nothing to do with the decision or some sort of closed-room smoke-filled cigar room of Wall Street firms getting together to the dismay of the retail trader. This has to do with settlement mechanics of the market. Frank Holmes, CEO of U.S. Global Investors, said that it is the paradigm of price discovery that has led to this explosion in GME shares. I guess the short sellers are winning today, or the buyers have been prohibited from buying. There's 2 arguments, there's not really that free market, Holmes said. These kids are now in their 20s and early 30s, they used to be and maybe still are, GameStop buyers. I think this is a very precarious time to be telling what people can and can't do. Reddit's Wall Street Bets, which has almost 6 million members, and other online small traders were at the center of the furor this week, and by using a classic Wall Street tactic, they put the squeeze on hedge funds, while the rest of the world watched with interest. The rollercoaster ride continued for GameStop on Friday, with a surge of 68% after brokerage apps, including Robinhood, eased some restrictions on trading. On Friday, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission warned brokerages and social media traders it was focused on any wrongdoing on the volatile days and weeks ahead.